For me, I think the biggest thing that football taught me was how to overcome adversity.
At some point in your life, you're going to have some tough times.
You have to have that next play mentality.
That cohesiveness and that working together, that's really something special that you can't get in a lot of other areas.
When you practice that and you live that in other phases of your life, it becomes second nature because all you know how to do is fight.
It's not an easy game. If it were easy, everyone would do it.
You start to appreciate the smaller contributions that people make. You don't just look at the big one because you knew it took 6 or 7 other guys who are unsung.
And you can't take shortcuts and be successful.
Doing what they do to make it possible for the guy getting the press clippings or whatever it might be.
In this game, whether it's as a coach or a player.
So I would certainly say that you definitely got a very quick lesson in how to overcome adversity playing football.
Taking a look at some keys to victory for both teams in this ball game, and we're going to start with the visiting Arizona Cardinals. The third down defense has to get a lot better. This is not regarding last week's blowout of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We're looking more so in week 1 versus the New England Patriots. That was a winnable game for Arizona. They couldn't get off the field defensively, which is why they ended up losing that contest. And they can't pass their way out of this game. I know it's easy and it's tempting to look at last week's film versus the New York Jets and say, hey, we can throw the football a lot better than the Jets, and we should have a field day throwing the football against this Bills secondary. But again, don't pass your way out of the game. Allow yourself to have some balance, and that way you could be much more effective when you do go down the field vertically. And you have to win your individual battle. This is a big unknown coming into this ball game. You don't know a lot about what Anthony Lynn does as the new offensive coordinator. So if you just concentrate on winning your individual battle, beating the guy in front of you, it gives you a great chance to win as a team. And for the Bills in this ball game, Tyrod Taylor has to hit his free throws. I'm talking about those easy throws that you expect the quarterback to make routinely with his eyes closed. He missed a lot of those passes against the New York Jets, and it put them in backed up situations, second and long, sometimes even third and long situations. You have to hit those free throws if you're Tyrod Taylor. And second, they have to be able to win above the rim. I'm going to tell you right now, everyone saw that game last week versus the New York Jets, so best believe moving forward, everyone in the NFL will try to air out this Bills secondary and attack these guys vertically down the field and create one-on-one matchups. So those corners and safeties have to be ready to answer the call and make those plays. And you have to get multiple to run the football, whether that's with personnel, whether that's with formation. But I think the Bills have to find a way to provide that balance for Taylor so that way he can operate off play action and take those deep shots down the field where he is crazy accurate. Last week versus the New York Jets, the Buffalo Bills had problems defending the vertical passing game. And I think if you're Arizona, you can come in and say, hey, we can attack deep down the field with our receiving core and show you how they can do so. And one thing I like about their receiving core, they have big guys that they can put inside while also getting speed on the outside. It can go vice versa. But I like putting big guys on the inside, speed on the outside, because it takes away the safeties when you're going vertical. So let's say this is Jaron Brown, both guys are JB, and John Brown. So you're going to have your speed guys outside the numbers, and you're going to run those guys straight down the field. That speed is going to force this safety to pick a side. So you really take the safety out of the way. And what you're doing here, you can even run a little fake and have him blocking here front side and dropping Carson Palmer straight back. But now you have your inside receivers, which could be your Michael Floyd and Larry Fitzgerald. Option routes. They're savvy enough, they're smart enough to where they can read leverage, read coverage of these guys and run anything they want. They can run the hitch, they can run slant, they can run a spike route, we used to call it, speed out. They can take it up the seam. Again, turn route, hitch, spike, slant, seam. And you're Carson Palmer, you're a veteran. Larry Fitzgerald's a veteran. Floyd's a veteran. You know you can trust those guys to make the right decision. And you're just going to pick on the slot defenders all game long. Now, if they want to get creative and try to bracket or double, well, you still have speed on the outside. And we know Carson Palmer can throw an outstanding deep ball accurately down the field. So this is one way I think in this ball game versus Buffalo, the Cardinals' vertical passing game can have their way with that Bills secondary. The Buffalo Bills I talked about last week have unique personnel in their backfield with a guy like LaShawn McCoy and also a guy like Reggie Bush. They have to find ways to get Reggie Bush involved in the passing game, or even Mike Gillislee involved in the passing game. I think they can take advantage of the inside backers of Arizona in the passing game. Show you what we're talking about here. I'm a big fan of dual tailback sets and getting guys out in the route. Now, the reason why we have this shotgun package here is because we want to dictate the personnel that that the Cardinals bring onto the field. We want to keep them in their base personnel. 4 backers, 3 defensive linemen, because you have 2 backs and a tight end in the backfield. So what you want to do, ideally, what will happen is if you see 2 backers there and they see 2 backs in the backfield, one may have a green dog call or one may be coming on a blitz. So what you want to do is have, and I'm a big fan of blocking the blitz by not blocking the blitz. So I would never keep it back in to pick up the blitz. I'm going to send him out. So you're going to have this back here on a scat call, which is a swing route. So if he comes, he's going to either have to abandon ship, or Tyrod Taylor will find him wide open here on a swing route. What you're going to do to create space here is you're going to have this receiver work up. He's going to either work in or he's going to take it up the seam, depending on the leverage and the coverage he sees here. Tight end's job is to work up into the corner, clearing out space. This receiver's here's job to run a hitch smash concept on the front side. So where we're going to put Reggie Bush or Mike Gillislee, we're going to put him in a situation where he's going to run up through the line and going to break out. Especially if this guy vacates, because now what happens is, even if he abandons his blitz responsibility and decides he wants to chase this swing, you just created space right here to dump this ball off behind this linebacker. And if he takes it up the hash or the seam, now he has a lot of space to operate with. If this guy still blitzes and he abandons, you still have space created. So getting 2 backs involved in the passing game, you don't want to run an option route because you're going to run him right into that smash route right there. But you want to run him. It's all about throwing where the defense vacated, and this is an example of that, where you can have a backer or 2 backers vacate the space, create it, and you can create opportunities for Bush or Gillislee. So that's one way, I think, when you look at how they can get both backs involved in the passing game, it could be beneficial in this matchup versus the Cardinals. Defensive end Chandler Jones is the biggest X factor in this game for the Arizona Cardinals, and what he can do from a pressure standpoint. We know he can rush the passer. This game, he's going to have to play with a little bit more control as you're facing a guy in Tyrod Taylor that can get outside the pocket, that can make one miss. So you have to get push instead of pressure, but how he plays could ultimately determine how well they do from a pressure standpoint. And for the Buffalo Bills, it's an obvious one. It's new offensive coordinator Anthony Lynn, and what can he bring differently to the table to help this offense get on track very early in the ball game. Again, they fired their offensive coordinator after last week's loss versus the New York Jets. Now they promote Anthony Lynn. Does he have that rapport with Tyrod Taylor and the rest of that offense? Is he in tune to what they have to do to have success? That's going to be the biggest thing you're going to watch in this ball game if you're a fan of the Buffalo Bills. I like the Cardinals in this ball game. I just think this defense just matches up well across the board versus a lot of teams in the NFL, but more in particular versus the Buffalo Bills. And offensively, they're in their moment, they're in their element when they're playing fast. I think they're going to come out, get a great start, and make this Buffalo Bills defense work extra hard, more so than they have to. So I see the Cardinals winning this one on the road in Buffalo.